I'm T. Waldron, and welcome to the third episode of Books and Brews. Today we're talking about The Thin Blue Lie. It's a book by Greg Dillon, where he was an honest cop versus the FBI. He started the Fugitive Squad for the state of Connecticut, and he grew it, and it became very successful and effective. And then he joined forces with the FBI, and at first it was fantastic, but then he realized they have different goals in mind and different motivations. So enjoy this next part of the interview.
I had a couple of different assignments when I was first hired, and then they decided to create a new unit, which was going to be the Fugitive Squad, and that was my opportunity to get back to doing something that I was comfortable doing. More of the dynamic, hands-on work. I wasn't a big on the desk work. I enjoyed being more out there.
And so you said you got the Fugitive Squad and you were a department of one.
Initially,
Wow. So
yeah.
that had to be like mixed, right? You're like, okay, I got it.
Right. Yeah. The funny thing was there were two openings and no one in the division except me applied for it. So I got the first and second position. But fortunately, they opened up the hiring to the outside, and there was a Hartford detective, homicide detective, that was just about to retire, and he applied and they hired him right away. So
What was his name again?
Steve Cumnick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, you guys became good friends.
Yeah, we're still friends. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
So then you slowly grew your department.
Sure.
And
Yeah,
it
we
became
expanded.
very
Yeah.
successful.
Yeah, we went from 2 to 4 to 6 altogether. Yes.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's great. And was that the department where you actually made money because you were chasing down fugitives and getting the money back from the bail bondsman, or was that?
Yeah, no, I wish I was making the money, but the money came into the division.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, because we were collecting when I say we, the prosecutors were collecting the forfeited bonds of fugitives that never appeared for their court date.
Okay.
So a third of the monies that were collected funded the Fugitive Squad, and so it was a nice sort of a symbiotic relationship. And that's how we were able to expand the unit to a total of 5 inspectors and then me as the supervisor.
As things happened, they tried to switch you or pull a fast one and give you a different job where you weren't supervising
Right.
anymore. And you kept saying, but I'm a supervisor.
Exactly.
Who am I supervising? I love that.
Exactly. Well, initially in the Fugitive Squad, when they disbanded it, then there was no Fugitive Squad.
Right.
And I was no longer, supervising obviously anyone.
You were working to find fugitives that were in the state of Connecticut. Were they all Connecticut? No.
Even out of the country, we worked cases. Yeah.
Okay.
One of my fugitives was apprehended because of information I developed in Mexico.
Wow.
Another one in Canada. We wouldn't travel, obviously, physically, but we would develop information and then contact our counterparts in other parts of the state or parts of the world.
Wow.
And eventually the information would lead to an arrest. It could be a tiny department, it could be a major department. They may have a unit that does nothing but fugitives. It may go to a patrolman who you hope is going to be diligent in trying to follow up on the information that you've developed. So it's a random sort of a thing. But by and large, I always felt that we worked well with the other agencies and other departments, and I always felt that they gave us a good response. A lot of times, we just say, hey, here's the address. You just have to confirm that they're there and then physically arrest them.
Wow. So did they appreciate that?
But sure, yeah, they didn't want it in their area either. In the book, the problem when departments or agencies don't address fugitives, and fugitives is just anyone basically who's been arrested and has not appeared in court or has not yet been arrested but has been identified and there's an outstanding warrant. And the hazard with that element is that while they are on the lam, whether they decide to just hide out in their own area or they travel, they're going to continue to commit crimes because that's their lifestyle. They're always going to need money and they're always going to go back to what they know. So drug dealers will continue to deal drugs. Robbers will rob. Burglars will commit burglaries. Whatever their criminal specialty is, they will usually continue because that is their source of income and they need money all the time to live that lifestyle.
That's a good point. Okay.
So the longer they're out there, the more crimes they're committing. And oftentimes, when you look in the paper and you see that someone gets arrested, oftentimes you realize, in the article it says they also had outstanding warrants from this department, and were on, probation violator. And it's like, yeah, and that's why they're out there, because they continue to commit crimes while they're trying to live. Initially, it was just Steve Cumnick and I as the Fugitive Squad. Mm-hmm. The FBI in New Haven had a fugitive task force that they hosted. Mm-hmm. And that was comprised of some state troopers, a couple of city detectives and several FBI agents. When they discovered that we were going to be doing the same work, they invited us to join forces, and Mr. Bailey, who was the chief state attorney, was infatuated with the FBI and loved the concept of it. So we were assigned there. And then in time, as you mentioned, our fugitive squad grew and we added on members to the task force. Well, it was a home run initially because, they have a bottomless wallet when it comes to paying informants or, anything that we really need. Offices throughout the entire country, overseas. So no matter where our leads took us, there was always a way to get follow-up conducted. And that was the good news. The bad news was I didn't realize that they now were not motivated to make their statistics look as impressive as could be because of the fact that there is a financial incentive for agents that have impressive statistics. It compromised them, some of them ethically, because in their desire to have the best statistics, it clouded their judgment as to the ethical conduct of getting more federal warrants. It created a condition or an environment where they felt that they could falsify probable cause just to get the warrant approved by a federal judge, which increased their chances of either getting a financial incentive award or a quality step increase, which was a raise, or a letter of commendation from the director, which also included a bonus check. So it created a sort of a tempting but dangerous environment for them to inflate their statistics in an effort to make extra money.
From myself to yourself, thank you for joining us on this journey. Right, Pumpkin? Okay.